This is like 90% of my. Let me get the extension cord. I got one. Oh, you're gonna do that? Okay.
Yes.
Which feels good.
Yes.
You know, the weight is just.
Yes,
I called it in the wrong location, that's why I'm late. It's because I was walking, and I walked there, and I found someone stole my coffee. And she was like, "Are you sure you didn't call it?" I know where I called it.
Here's the thing, I've been there. Even sneaking talking but there's still something there.
Well, I kind of myself.
I take care of millions of I wear out your back. So, I understand the I need like stability issues, and I need so I think these expressions are the best, but they're also the ugliest. And I
got rid of the voice or hearing test. Still.
It's nice. We lost our observation lens in our therapy speed, which I kind of hate that we lost that.
Yeah.
Because we really love to have families in the observation rooms.
Everybody,
But we're gonna.
you got your meal, with your water, your meal, you got your meal?
Yes.
We're good. Those are mental videos.
Like a live stream out of the rooms.
How many do we have online? How many we have, is it just you?
No, Jenny's on.
Jenny's on back in. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for being here. It's great to see everyone's smiling faces. What a blessing. And to all of you on our online internet, social media world, good to see you. But I wanted to say to you all that it has been a really awesome week, and I hope it has been that way for you all individually as well. And so with that being said, we're going right into, I was speaking through, instead of doing something other than the prayer, I just want to speak through and say something that's going to be hopefully positive into our spirits today. But I had a meeting this morning with my daughter and her college advisor. And so my daughter was meeting regarding changing her program because she's actually able to finish a lot sooner than the current program that she's in, right? And the advisor was sharing some great news about what she's been doing and achieving her 3.9 GPA in college and what she, all the great stuff. And I'm just sitting there listening to this advisor, and I'm like, wow, it's great to hear someone talking that positive about, about your child, right? And then thinking about at one point in time, she was going a whole nother direction. And we were wondering, are you going to go to college? You're going to stay in college? I don't know if any of you had that experience, but you're trying to encourage that child to stay in school, but somehow another things turn around, and it just takes that one life experience, and all of a sudden they're on a focus that you're not going to change that focus. They're going to do it no matter what. Well, in saying this little tidbit and hearing this great information about my daughter, it's just, when it comes to our organization, when it comes to what we do as Rotary, and there's a lot of people that speak highly of Rotary. There's a lot of people that love the direction that Rotary is going in now. There's a lot of people to see and appreciate the turnaround that Rotary has had. You know, the big turnaround for me, you know, like my daughter was going one direction, but now she's good. The one turnaround with me, I know it was a long time ago, but not so long ago, that when Rotary said, I think it's a bad idea not to have women as members. We better have women as members, and we better do it quick. You know, when I learned that in RLI 1, when I went to the Leadership Institute, and they told us when women went and had to be at a conference, at a national conference, that's when they made the official change. I was like, what in the world? But I was glad about the turnaround. Because of that turnaround, look at what has happened. Look at the success. Look at the growth. Look at the impact we've had, not only just in the state, but in the world. You know, we men can only think so far. And having someone with an intellect that goes beyond our little space has changed this whole thing around. And I'm really glad to hear and be able to sit down with people who can hear the great things that they know and experience with Rotary and the turnaround that Rotary has had. So with that being said, I am so glad to be a part of this Dilworth South End Rotary 75 year, and we're now in year 76. And we are going to have an exceptional year, especially in this coming May and this coming summer, and all the things that we're going to do to impact this community as far as Dilworth South End, as well as the city of Charlotte. They're going to know us. They're going to know us very well, and I feel confident in that. Can we all stand together and do the Pledge of Allegiance? Kind of had our flag here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. We have any visitors that need to be introduced? Visitors, we have any announcements to be?
We have some visiting Rotarians.
With the visiting Rotarians, please.
Choice.
Sure.
Choice is our visiting Rotarian. And we have Allison online.
We have Allison online. All right, then.
And I would like to announce I beat Daryl in putt-putt golf.
Really?
Way to go.
Here we go. Once again, the ball was magnetized. There was a little foul play there. Absolute hilarious fun. Great place, but a very, very busy place. So it was good to learn about Pottery South End or Pottery Charlotte. It was really a fun thing. Thank to the leadership and Choice and the Impact Club, because it was really a great experience.
Well, Rebecca's gone quite a few times, and she said she's never seen it slammed like that, especially on a weeknight. She
It was
said
really
even
slammed.
like
On a Tuesday.
she's gone on like weekends, and she said it hasn't been like that. And this was like you couldn't even find parking. It was a zoo.
Yeah, it was something to see on a Tuesday. That's good business, I can't even say. Any other announcements, please? Yes, sir.
I just want to say we had a great turnout at mid-year assembly last weekend in Statesville. Mid-year assembly and pre-pets. We had over 100 people there. So very well attended. Thankful for everybody who showed up for that. Marja and Daryl were both there, and thank you guys for being there and representing Charlotte Children's South End. Truly appreciate it. Allison was there from Queen City Impact. So we had and Lorena, how can I forget our speaker?
Who got you coffee?
Right? Coffee, right. We even called Jenny to find out if I took cream in my coffee. That's how thorough she is. It was just a great turnout. Truly great. Thank everybody for being here.
Yeah, it was
I also
good
wanted to say that Marja set something up. Were you gonna make an announcement about that?
I was wondering if I
Please.
should make this announcement.
Yeah.
And let Daryl.
Yeah, if it's
Okay,
happened, do
well,
it.
Okay, so, so Party in the Park is happening this year again. It's gonna be May 18th. And we've partnered up with Dilworth Neighborhood Association for it.
Yes. It's officially a partnership.
Officially a partnership. It's not gonna be called Party in the Park anymore, though. It's gonna be called Dilworth Jubilee. And the way we are gonna participate is that we're gonna have our tents, our booth, we're gonna be doing what we did last year is selling burgers with an addition with hot dogs. I mean, we slept. We're about that.
I justified that biggest Weber because of Rotary, so please, no, be able to shut up.
Yeah, I've heard that. It's great. And of course, our Angie is also agreed to play with the band over there. And we're gonna have some new additions, additional tents. We're gonna be selling drinks. And so we could not get OMB again because that was the caveat that we couldn't. They had CCC and they didn't want any, they wanted non-compete with that. So that revenue stream was out, so we decided to have a wine tent. And we'll be selling wine instead.
Yes.
So we're gonna need donations towards all of these tents. We're gonna have a wine tent, we're also gonna have soft drinks. And we will have a tent with Rotary, with a Rotary tent, which will give out, information about our club and people who are interested in joining and what we do. So all that is in the works. Just been busy, so it's it's a little bit away. So we have some time to get our ducks in a row, and we'll be sending out sign up geniuses for people who want to participate and help out. So volunteer.
Marcia and I had a really great meeting with these folks with their committee with Dilworth Neighborhood Association. We had a great meeting with them I have to say his name. Krishan. Krishan's home. We had a really great meeting, and all of that. This came out of our meeting with them, and I was glad to let her announce all of this because I had to tap her on the back, and she helped bridge this gap for us to have a relationship. And you were wanted. Your band was wanted. I just want you to know, say it in front of everybody, your band was wanted.
Oh, great.
So just to let you know that, so that was how it was like, it was a no-brainer. They were like, yeah, please call her and see if she'll do it, so.
Will we have to get the license for the wine?
We will.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But we don't have to get, so we're gonna save a lot of money on the rental of the park itself. I don't know what capacity we're gonna be, it'll be at least a sixth of the cost of what it's gonna be. And obviously, the tasks are gonna be divided, so we'll also have a great turnout.
And that Rotary tent should be shared. I mean, we should be really promoting Dilworth charities.
Right.
In addition.
Yes. But that's one of the things we're going to be asking you all, because during that, they asked us about our fundraising, why and what have you. So we mentioned, of course, Dilworth Charities, and I mentioned Levine. So we need to talk about how we're putting that out there as far as we're concerned and getting people to come. So we need to talk about that and do the marketing piece right, so they can get people to come support this. It's because of Dilworth, a Rotary. So we'll talk
A
about
little
that.
league baseball park that their kids probably play in is because of this club. That happened as a result of this club. And most people don't know that.
Wow.
Marcia, do you have the timeline for it yet? Do you know what time it's gonna start?
It's 12 to
12
5.
o'clock. 12 to 5.
Gotcha.
So we'll still get to go there that morning, I think, as well. Well, of course, the morning, but we did it the day before.
So we still have a little barbecue social that we have
The day
every
before.
year, the
On
day
17th.
before.
That's Friday. That's
Yeah.
David's deal.
Yeah.
And then
Marja,
yeah,
are they gonna do a flyer, or do we need to do a flyer, or, how's that gonna work? And also Riley's online, so we have another visiting Rotarian.
Okay, great.
Who was that?
Right.
flyers. Were you asking about flyers?
Yeah, who's gonna do the flyer?
So we're gonna have some kind of collaborating advertising where we're gonna do Dilworth Neighborhood Association in collaboration with Dilworth Rotary South End presents Dilworth Jubilee.
Love it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're doing it?
And we'll definitely be in their newsletter what have you, that'll be going out. We think we'll be in that now, like really in it. this time.
Also, we're gonna be selling T-shirts and we're gonna have our logo on the T-shirt.
On the T-shirt.
Love that.
Yeah.
You should have them available.
Awesome.
Yeah.
At the T-shirts will be at the event. At the
yeah.
event,
So
Jenny.
I'm working with Krishan on just getting that artwork and all of that.
I just want to say, thank you both, but I really want to thank the Marshal for driving this and really getting this in place. This is huge. And it's taken a load off the club, and I have absolutely no problem with it. Go Jubilee.
Listen here, the relationship that she established last year when she started it, God, thank you for maintaining it. And they responded to her when she said, hey, can we talk? And they responded so positively, and this is what we're getting from it. So that's why I'm like, yeah, thank you. So it made all the difference, So, any other announcements? I would like to announce, myself that on March 2nd, hopefully maybe somebody from Impact Club, possibly in our club, would like to go to RL Live. It's gonna be Saturday, March 2nd in Anderson, South Carolina. It's just that one day, it's not all day. But the RLI 1, 2, and 3 will be offered there. I'm doing RLI 2 there. And so if anyone would like to join me in Anderson, South Carolina on Saturday, March 2nd for Rotary Leadership Institute, I'd love to have you come and learn a whole lot. That's why I learned all this history about Rotary was there. And the impact that we have in the country and in the world. But nonetheless, Saturday, March 2nd, there is a cost. It's not free. So because we get fed well and plus all the materials, I think it's a $95 cost for that day.
The club reimburses.
Okay, good. I'll give you my receipt. So,
Give it to the treasurer.
So, but it is really a great program that I encourage everyone, if you can, please come and join. And we've already mentioned this, but the board, we have our board meeting, and then we'll come back to you with more details regarding the upcoming Jubilee as well. The other thing, I'll wait till you finish, and then you come back to us about your idea.
I swallow.
Yeah, so Hugh's gonna be bringing something to us.
Go ahead, you say it, you're fine.
Okay, well, we're going to participate in a diaper drive. So to be able to help, the diaper bank, and what was the other one, Hugh?
Gracious Hands, if you recall.
Gracious Hands.
Housing for mothers.
Yes.
and children.
So we'll be able to provide, the products to, Gracious Hands as well as to the diaper bank. And when Hugh gets done with the logistics, then we'll come back to everyone, ask everyone as much as you can to ask others to help, and then we will be able to take, we'll use our trucks and take it to Gracious Hands, and then we'll get the rest to the diaper bank. But this is a much needed cause to help as any way we can, and it will do great for us. And we really wanted to overload our trucks, to make phone calls to a couple of the media folks, and they'll be glad to help us if we want to. So I'll definitely call them, and they'll definitely promote what we're doing, and we can really get the city to overload us. We probably have to ask the church for prayers and use their closet for a moment, because it could be overwhelming. But I'm so thankful for the idea. This is huge, baby, but we're going to diapers, baby. But anyway, so we're going to make sure. We're gonna.
Yeah, I'm getting to that age.
So
There is a,
yes, sir.
They have those too.
there's a hierarchy of needs for diapers. So we would probably ask for the diaper bank, preemies and pull-ups.
Preemies and pull-ups. Pull-ups for little ones or older ones?
Pull-ups for little ones.
Okay, pull-ups for little ones, okay. So they have everything in the diaper bank, so.
Also, Medicist, I was on a call this Wednesday, Medicist will be, they're asking for community support in a drive for over-the-counter medications. There's much more information to come out about that, but.
Wow, they do that, okay.
Oh, yeah, and this is actually the first time they've done it, but the demand is so high, prices, they have to purchase a certain amount of drugs. The pricing for some of the medicines are just through the roof. They spend 58% of their income on inhalers. Inhalers. So there's a push on to get community support for an over-the-counter drive, and they're looking at the Rotary for help. I'll be sending out a lot more information on that.
Wow, that's serious.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Can we intertwine the two?
We can certainly do that.
Okay, because
Yep.
what this idea came all about is Barb and I are members here.
Yep.
And people just drop off diapers. They really don't know where they're going.
Exactly.
And we can just ask everybody just to also drop off, and I'll need to know packaging.
We can get
requirements.
you that. There's gonna be an online component for that too, like an Amazon wish list.
So dates of that?
Well, with this church, the Amazon wish list will,
Be that part.
yeah, because, that's how we furnish several.
Yeah, Kevin, would this probably take place before the luncheon, before the medicines luncheon?
Probably.
Okay.
I'm thinking that it's probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks or something like that.
Well, maybe a little bit. We may come up with stuff.
Okay, all right.
I don't think I can do that.
Again, last thing for me, because we need to introduce the, our speaker, but again, oh, yes, sir. Last thing for me, then I got one more, oh, I'm sorry, 2 more. But I wanted to make sure everybody's aware that in April, once again, we have the conference in Charleston, South Carolina, the Rotary, our district conference will be, and it's at the, Francis Marion Hotel, in Charleston. And, so hopefully anyone would like to come, I think it's still available for you, make reservation, but it says it's filled up very quickly. You know, the hotel itself, they were trying to hold on, but it seems to be a very popular hotel.
You have to, if you go to the conference, if you plan on going, you've got to register for the conference first of all, and then you have to do a separate reservation for the hotel. It's all on DAC DB. If you go there on the calendar, the district calendar, click on April 19th or whatever the date is, and you'll see all the information there.
And Deb has promised that they want this to be like a vacation and not work. We will have comment, but they're adamant they want us to have a lot of fun and enjoy that time. You don't come down there and not enjoy the Francis Marion Hotel or Charleston. We need to enjoy both the conference as well as the ambiance there. So they're focused on making sure we have a great time. Yes, sir.
I'm just kind of confused because I hear all sorts of things being kicked around. Let's see if I, for my view of mind, if I can clear it up a little bit. Because Lori and I are very, very excited. We've talked about kids growing up. We're announcing that we're very excited because our granddaughter, who is now 23 years old and growing up, she and her boyfriend are with us this weekend. They will be with us next weekend. Actually, they're talking to someplace right now. But the big news in the marriage and family is that her boyfriend, who've been together now for about a year, we wholeheartedly appreciate this guy. He's 6'4". Sarah, who is very lovely, those of you who know better, is 6 foot. So she had to find a 6'4" boyfriend. And I'm making this quick because we've got a lot of announcements. But we're tickled to death that they are visiting with us because in 3 weeks, the boyfriend just got his notice that he will be flying. Now, the question, I think the question is firm right now, that he is going alone to his first duty station. He's gone to basic. Well, all of that. He will be one of the 4 nuclear mechanics on the newest aircraft here. Wow. And so he is excited as all get out.
That's great.
But he'll be there for 3 years.
Wow, awesome. Awesome, that's really awesome.
And we're learning how slowly to keep our mouth shut and our eyes and ears open. So that's all I got to say. And we're tickled.
Nuclear sub mechanics, that's, wow. Wow. Bob, the floor is yours, sir. Bob Teague is doing an announcement, and then we have an introduction of our speaker.
Okay, it won't take me long, and I'm happy to be back up here just again today, talking about the foundation. because today it's exciting for me to be able to celebrate with two of our Rotarians who have now moved to another level of their Paul Harris Fellow as a multiple Paul Harris Fellow again. You know, it's really above and beyond the call of duty that we as Rotarians continue to support the foundation as we move forward, as we continue to grow, as we make a contribution of $1,000 a year, we move to the next level, level 2, level 3, level 4. Today, I'm happy to be able to say I am presenting 2 Paul Harris Fellow level 5 presentations. First, to our good friend, Tom Filson. Tom. Thank you for participating. Thank you for participating.
Hold that.
And the second
I'm
one,
slow.
you're slow. Move faster, baby. And the second one goes to Hugh Lewis.
Hey.
You know, the foundation is exactly what it is, our foundation. The foundation does the work, but we're the source of energy for that foundation to get it done. So it makes me very happy to be able to make these presentations. And if you're not already signed up in one method or another, it's very easy to do so, to get started in your path along the way of being a Paul Harris Fellow or a multiple Paul Harris Fellow at a level 5 or 6 or wherever you may want to be. So thank you all very much for supporting the foundation. If you want to get started, you easily go on donation. One of the things that we've talked about in the past is every Rotarian every year, you know, start, set up, just let it make a contribution, and all of a sudden, you know, you can do not only the foundation that has 5 different levels within the foundation that you can support to. So you can pick out where it likes to be. OEO Plus is one of those that we talk about all the time. So thank you all very much for your support, and thank you to Tom, Hugh, for your continued support.
You, Fiona was a cover.
Do what?
Fiona was a cover, right?
Fiona was,
Fiona was a cover. Yeah.
Okay, just doing the introduction,
I'm happy to do the introduction.
please, sir.
Yeah, I will do a short version. I got Lorena Prince is just, she lives up to her name. Lorena. No. I am serious. This woman is absolutely amazing. I've known her for a number of years. She's been in several different clubs, and she always, when I was reading her biography, I had no idea that she had a background in arbitration. But it makes all the sense in the world because she is one of the most even-tempered, mild-mannered, but brutally efficient and effective people I know. And she is a true team player. She bleeds Rotary. She just invests herself in everything that she does. And she, I give her so much credit for being a wonderful, not just a wonderful person, but a wonderful Rotarian. And she's the one who dogged choice and got choice to get into Rotary. So we are grateful for that. We are very grateful for that. But she showed exactly what kind of moxie she has a couple of weeks ago when we were doing the Habitat for Humanity deal. And when I say we, I don't mean me. I mean when Joyce and Lorena were doing the Habitat for Humanity deal, they were at the wrong place and they got directions to the new place. And they stuck to it. They could have easily just said, you know what, we're going home. It's 12 degrees out, it's cold and rainy and wet and yucky, but they stuck to it. And a lot of that is just because of this woman here who is, do not be fooled by her height. Do not be fooled by that. She is.
Or be full, it's fine.
Yeah. And she just devotes herself 100% to everything, whether it's RLI or Rotary or whatever. But today, she's going to talk about Montessori and the gift that it can bring to all of our lives, and especially our kids and our great kids. So, Lorena?
Thanks.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is another one of my passions. And I say that because in Montessori, you're taught that you can have as many passions as you want. So this is number like 4. I am the Director of Student Services, and if I can figure how to do this. There you go. Director of Admissions and Student Services at Phoenix Montessori Academy. I have been there for 5 years. That is me in Montessori in 1977.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I loved Montessori as a child. It was everything to me. When I had to go home every day, I would cry because it was boring at home. It was fun at school. And when I grew up and went to college, there was a flyer at school that said, be a Montessori teacher. And I was like, oh, I remember that. Maybe I could do that. I was always looking for extra money because I'm in college. So I went ahead and I called and took this very intensive course, and I had no idea how intensive it was. But I took this course and became a Montessori teacher after about a year. And I taught for 2 years. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And there's no one in it. So I was like, peace out, I'm going to corporate and going to do arbitration. Because there was just no money in it. But in the back of my mind, it was always there. And in my heart and my soul, it was always in there as well. So fast forward many, many years later, after I left corporate, trying to figure out what to do, kept passing by this Montessori school in Huntersville, Phoenix Montessori. And I stopped in one very, very rainy afternoon, and the head of school happened to be at the front desk. And I said, so I have my certification in Montessori. Do you have any work for part-time? She said, do you speak Spanish? And I said, sí. And she said, great, we need an assistant in the Spanish immersion classroom. And it was brand new. And I said, okay. So did that for 2 years. Again, 2 years is all I can do in the classroom. And then this job came available, and I was like, I'm much better at sales than I am with kids. So this is what I did.
Quick question.
Yes.
Can you, for the benefit of everyone here, explain to us what is Montessori?
So, what is Montessori?
I have not seen this presentation. I want you all to know that. No.
So what is Montessori? Not Kevin, because Kevin knows what Montessori is. Not Choice, because I think Choice now knows what Montessori is. What is Montessori? It's, for me, a way of life. It's an education philosophy. It's, like, oh, I sent my kid to Montessori. What does that mean? Oh, it means daycare. Absolutely not. It is a school. It is education. If done correctly, it is the most amazing way to educate your children. Montessori, unfortunately, is a word that anybody can slap on their name. And so any daycare, any school, preschool can say, this is a Montessori school. But unless you have trained and certified teachers and who know how to use the Montessori material, then it's just a daycare with Montessori toys. So, Montessori, oh, that's that. No, okay, so in Montessori, we say we follow the child. When parents come to me and say, I need to bring my son to school, he's 4 years old. Okay. So you've already missed 2 years of Montessori training But that's okay. In Montessori, we follow the child. So where is your child today? Has he been home? Has he been in another daycare? Has he been in a different school? Wherever the child is, when he starts with us, is where we're going to start. So if he recognizes numbers and letters, we'll start there. If he can read and write, we'll start there. We're not going to cap him and say, okay, all of your other friends are just learning how to read, and so you gotta wait for them to catch up to you. No, like, you gotta keep going. So we follow the child. That's a lot of our what we say academically. Most importantly, these days, I think, is how the child is doing as a person. Post-COVID, we've had a lot of kids who have been stuck at home for a long time, so they've not been able to socialize. Or we've had children who maybe in the 3rd, 4th, 5th grade had to wear masks, the beginning of their learning how to speak. And so they've had now issues communicating because they have a lisp or they speak with their mouths like this. And so it's very, it's very interesting to see, all the different things that have happened post-COVID, but we start wherever they are. So that's one of the things that I love so much about this philosophy is that every child is an individual. And even if you are in a classroom with 20, 30 other kids, you are special, you learn differently, you are going to learn at a different pace, and the curriculum is going to be different for you and you and you. So everyone will have a different curriculum. How is that possible? Because our teachers are not teachers, they're guides. And so the guide is taught to observe every individual child every single day. It is magical. It is truly, truly magical. And there is definitely not enough time for me to explain everything. But so I wanted to share this because this is Dr. Maria Montessori's plans of development. So Maria Montessori is who created this Montessori method. She's an Italian doctor who, at the time in the late 1800s, said to her father, I want to be a doctor. And her father's like, come on, like, it's already bad enough you want to be an engineer. Like, you're not going to go to medical school. She's like, totally want to be a doctor. So she did, and she was one of the first women in Italy to be a doctor. And then she really got into education when she started working. She was a neurologist. When she started working with children who lived on the streets, with children who had probably things like autism that they didn't know existed then, things like ADHD, which didn't exist then, stuff like that we have now been able to diagnose children was still happening then. So she is in this clinic where they're bringing these kids and they're throwaways. They're society's throwaways. And as she's observing the children, she realizes they're learning, they're just learning differently. And so she begins to create materials and lessons. And at the end of the year, these children were able to test as well or better than some of the children without the, these same issues. So, of course, then Montessori becomes, everyone wants to use this philosophy, big history lesson, but anyway. So I wanted to share this because plans of development, this was one of the things that I'm always in awe about. We say like, oh, well, a child, before they're 5 years old, before kindergarten, we'll wait until kindergarten until they start reading. We'll wait until kindergarten before we start doing this, or before we start doing, it's too late. You get to kindergarten, it's too late. 0 to 6, the absorbent mind, right? When you say like, oh, don't say bad words in front of the child because they're going to repeat it. It's not just the bad words. It's everything. It's your behavior, it's your mood, it's your attitude, it's your tone of voice, it's absolutely everything. Their job is to wake up every day, get fed, and learn. That is their entire job. They are literally taking everything in. It's the first time they might have seen a shade of green like that. It might be the first time they've heard that noise. It might, things that we take for granted. It's all a learning experience for them. And their brain is just going. Our job to nurture the 0 to 6-year-old brain is to allow them to be able to have those experiences. How do we do that? We prepare an environment for them. Right? So, what's that noise? I don't know. What is it? Where's it coming from? I think it's coming from there. Oh, well, what do you think it is? And then allow them. I was like, oh, it's just the air conditioner. Oh, just kind of ruined everything. Because you didn't allow them to think about where it was coming from, what it was, why it's making that noise, why that air conditioner might sound differently from the one at home. So allowing the child to have that space and giving them giving ourselves enough time to be patient with them is everything. So the plans of development, 0 to 6, language is when we start working on vocabulary, the senses, order. Remember when kids like open the cupboard and they start taking things out of the kitchen and lining it up? Order. Don't put it away. Don't get rid of it. They're putting stuff in order. They're learning how to sort things. Let them finish the whole project and then make sure they put it away. Those are really things that it's a natural instinct for them. And we need to celebrate it instead of saying, oh, you're making such a mess. 6 to 12. So this is where my godchild is now. And it's a really tough one because all I want to say is like, what are you doing in school? She's like, nothing, I'm playing. I'm like, oh no. But this is where the social part starts. If you walk into a 1st to 3rd grade classroom, it is the noisiest classroom you were ever going to be in. Because everything is so exciting. And everything is a big, oh my gosh, I can't believe that she took that pencil out of the box. It's a pencil. But it's the blue pencil. And they learn how to communicate with each other. And this is when you really start seeing them resolve disputes. That is the most incredible thing to see. When, as an adult, you're watching 2 children, you're like, oh, this is not going to be good. And then you just watch, and then before you know it, nothing happened. Like, they talked it out. I'm like, ooh, that could have gone a whole different way. Not in this group. Now, high school, totally different. But, and then 12 to 18, that's, middle school, high school, the whole social justice thing. I mean, if you have teenagers, or if you've had teenagers, you know that this is where nothing is fair. Yep. Nothing is fair, and this is who I am. Respect me for who I am, and also I don't want to talk to you. So this is that 12 to 18, and then 18 to 24. That's the maturity. But going back to 0 to 6. If you didn't get some good foundation in there, oh, it's going to be really tough after that. So, I wanted to share that. Habits of mind. Habit of mind, this I took from Google, means having a disposition towards behaving intelligently when confronted with problems. When humans experience dichotomies, are confused by dilemmas, or come face to face with uncertainties. Our most effective actions require drawing forth certain patterns of intellectual behavior. 1st through 3rd grade, 4th through 6th grade, but mostly the 6 through to 8 years old, parents will often say, why isn't he doing more math? Why isn't he doing more homework? This is when the habits of mind are being formed. This is when everything that you've already done a good foundation for the academics, Now the habits of mind. This is where it's molding the child to who they are going to be in the future, how they're gonna handle things in the future, how they're going to handle having a big test, how they're going to handle a problem in school or a problem at home. And so habits of mind are really, really something that we focus on in Montessori as part of the whole child curriculum. Something that I feel is missing in other more traditional schools. So respect for self and others. Again, we teach them from very early on. If you can't respect yourself, you can't respect others. You are very important, and so is everybody else. People, animals, things, your environment, your materials. If you take something and break it, it's disrespectful. What doesn't have feelings? No, but the next person who wanted to use it now can't. And that person has feelings. And that person misses out on being able to learn, with the materials. So that's how we started that. These are creatures that we found in our play yard. Grace and courtesy, starting at 18 months. Our school goes 18 months to 12th grade. It's rare to go all the way through 12th grade for Montessori. There are only a few schools nationwide. We are one of those few schools. But grace and courtesy starts at 18 months. So what's grace and courtesy? Please, thank you, help me. Picking up your toys. 18 months, they can totally do it. If they can take it off the shelf, they can put it back on the shelf. So that's where we really start to focus on those things. I spilled water. Oh, get out of the way. I got it. Spilled water, clean it up, right? When you go to someone's house and they invite you to dinner, you typically want to say, "Can I help you wash the dishes?" That's grace and courtesy. If people don't help you, they don't have grace and courtesy. But those are the things that we teach children. You had an invitation, now you have to do your part as well. Grace and courtesy also is patience, learning patience. At 3 years old, that's really difficult because for you, having patience is a split second for them is 10 years. It just, so that's probably one of the things that I look at in Montessori and think, this is a Montessori child. I can tell the difference between that and a child who just went to a traditional school. And maybe you all can come to school one day and check it out. The prepared environment, we talked about that. This is this is a toddler classroom actually. All of the lessons in the toddler classroom are lessons that the children can take from the shelf. Doesn't matter which lesson it is. You can't give a toddler a lesson because they don't have time for that. So every single one of them is something that they can manipulate, that they can do. The only rule is put it back before you get another one. And they learn that pretty quickly. When a child throws something across the room, what do we say? Stop, don't do that, you're gonna hurt someone. In Montessori, when a child throws something across the room, ooh, that was far, wasn't it? Let's go get it. And because at 18 months, what they want to know is, what does it sound like? How far does it go? Does this one go as far as the last one? Does this one break like the last one did? Occasionally he'll have the one like, no, I just wanted to hit him. But, and then you work on that. But it's more the discovering different things and exploring how things work. So the 18 to 3-year-old classroom is the quietest classroom next to high school. Independence. Our number one goal is to make our children independent so that when they go off on their own, they don't need us. Not in the same way, right?
Yeah.
Not in the same way. So, can they take care of themselves? Can they take care of others?
That
That's-
doesn't stop until age 40.
Oh, come on. Did you go to Montessori? But that is our goal. We have practical life lessons from 18 months to high school. At primary, cutting, preparing your food, things like that is practical life. In high school, it becomes cooking, personal finance, your credit, working on your credit, working on investing, because that's what you need. How to buy a house, what does that look like? People who are buying homes now are buying them younger. And so, if they're, or renting an apartment or whatever it is. And then, so they are being prepared to know the vocabulary, the lingo, and not be afraid, and not be like, I can't do this. So it's just an introduction to it, and it's working out really well. This middle picture is at camp. Every year they go to camp for a week, and then they go into this mud pit, and it's disgusting, but they absolutely love it. My practical life here, we do gardening, and like the 1870s, we also do sewing stuff. But again, it's all about working on those muscles in the hand and the arm to really prepare for some good penmanship. The more you work these muscles in practical life, or during practical life, the more the children will be able to stand writing longer periods, right? So when you hear kids say, I'm so tired of writing, I can't do this anymore, it's too much, it's because they didn't have enough work on their muscles, and that's why they're tired.
Do you all teach them how to write in cursive?
Absolutely do.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think there's a picture here somewhere. So one of the things I'm most proud of is promoting peace. We have a peace table. When the kids get into an argument, or they're fighting, or hurt, we say, figure it out, go to the peace table. And they do. They say, go to the peace table. It's like, well, you hurt my feelings when you didn't want to play with me outside. Like, well, I didn't know I was not supposed to play with you outside. Whatever their conversation becomes. And it's like, well, I'm sorry. Always, every single time at the peace table, they'll walk away with like, you're my best friend. We need a play date. It's a little bit different in high school, but it's kind of the same idea. When they get to 4th grade, they get to participate in Montessori Model United Nations. And that is just like our United Nations, but with kids. And every year they go to either New York or Chicago. This year they're going to Rome. Super excited. We have, I think, 18 kids going to Rome for Montessori Model United Nations.
This is just for your school?
Yes. And they have hundreds of kids who go to that. And the kids are given a country, and then they're given an issue. So I think last year they had, one of the issues was human trafficking. That was hard. That was hard to help them along to understand that, first of all, and then have them write about ideas and try to collaborate with other kids in other countries to come up with ideas on how to fix the problem. And then they would present it, and then they presented it.
What's that age group?
For Model United Nations, it started 4th grade, so 4th to 8th grade. Yes, so upper elementary and middle school. We have been doing this for about 10 years, 10, 12 years now. Last year was our biggest group. This year it's less because it's Rome and it's more expensive. But next year I think is Chicago again, and we hope more kids will go. This is one of the things that I love most about my school and their participation in this, because I obviously, through American Arbitration Association and all of my work with ADR, this is kind of like full circle for me. And one of the really cool things about our school is that we accept the Opportunity Scholarship. So we don't have just rich kids coming to the Montessori school. The bad part is those kids on the scholarship can't afford to go on these trips. So the kids will come up with fundraisers and things like that to try to, do some of that work and get them there. But as you can imagine, Rome was just much too expensive and it cost prohibitive, but they're working on next year. But it's a really, really cool opportunity for so many of these kids. Let's see. And then I'm gonna play this little video for you just because I absolutely love them. This is our upper elementary kids. Let's see. I think it's on.
There. There's a volume control back there. Can you? I think it's the handheld. It's the handheld behind the screen.
Okay, so I wish that you could have heard a little clearer because the message is, we all are one people. And, we're a very diverse school. We're a nonprofit school. And it's very rare to find a Montessori school that's nonprofit. Our head of school, Miss India, she made sure that when this school was started, it was going to allow kids from all walks of life to come. Some kids get the opportunity scholarship and they come to our school, pay a little bit extra. Some kids can't afford our school at all. We have a couple of students that we sponsor, and we have done that in the past. But it's expensive. So it just, it's case by case, but when we've had to, we will, because we will not let children just, not get the experience, especially if they've already been there before and then all of a sudden they can't. So that's, that's another reason why I'm there, is because it is a nonprofit organization. And I don't know how to get to this here. And that's it. Questions? Yes, sir.
You mentioned learning barriers such as ADHD. Do y'all have compensation for physical barriers such as sight or hearing?
Yes. So it depends on the child, and it depends kind of like what the where they're at. If you have children who cannot, who are blind, for example, then it really is going to depend like what teachers do we have available, and can we accommodate? Because can we be the best of ourselves for that child? If we cannot be, and the same thing for hearing, if we cannot be, then I will do my best to find a school that is comparable that will be able to. We do allow students to bring in therapists or people to help and assist in some of these situations. And so we will make that accommodation for
Y'all
them.
associate with CMS with their
So,
interim,
yes, so for some of our students who have to go through CMS or with their IEPs, yes, their counselors or their therapists will come to our school.
Just a quick comment. My daughter and her husband live in New Jersey, and their 18-month-old daughter just started going to Montessori school. She is being exposed to Spanish and Mandarin Chinese. They got in an elevator last week, two gentlemen who were Asian were speaking, and one of them said to Lindsay, my daughter, oh, she's so cute. And they were Asian in appearance. They were speaking English. And I'm not kidding, to help me, Zora said, Shishi,
Wow.
which is Chinese for thank you. It's like,
Wow. Children before the age of 6 can learn
it is, they are
multiple
so
languages.
impressionable. They are
Yeah.
so impressionable.
Yes.
Is there any reason a child would not be allowed to be enrolled in school in Montessori?
Our school? Not above there. So I always say to parents, Montessori is for all children, maybe not all families. But we don't have as many Montessori teachers as we would like. And so it really is going to depend on what the situation is. If it is a matter of behavior, which sometimes happens when you have children who are kicked out of all the other schools, like, well, this is our last resort, and like, okay, what do you got? And then it may be like, oh, that's not a big deal. Like, that's just CMS who doesn't want to deal with stuff, right? So it really just depends on the child. And oftentimes what we'll do is we'll take them in for a couple of visits, see how they do. Sometimes they just needed to have an environment where they didn't have to sit at a desk all day long. Or maybe they just need to have a whole new group of people see them for who they are and accept them for who they are instead of already been, flagged for the bad kid. So.
Right, and what is the enrollment process?
The enrollment process is submitting an application, getting on the wait list, and then meeting with me. It's fantastic, it's so fun. No, it's really, for the upper grades, it's a lot easier because we are not as full as we are with the younger kids. The younger kids, obviously, we have a wait list. Everyone's got a wait list right now. But the older kids, it's just submitting an application or giving me a call and say, hey, I want to come check out your school. And then kids would come for a full day visit and then go from there.
Great.
Yeah.
How long is your waiting list right now?
For the little ones, we have, I think, 72 kids on the wait list. They're not getting in. It's terrible. I'm gonna have to send rejection letters and I'm like, just dying. The older kids, not as much. Yes.
So my son goes to Lincoln Heights Montessori.
Okay.
He's in 2nd grade. My daughter's about to enter preschool.
Awesome.
So I'm more interested in, having never been a Montessori kid, this is all new to us, right? We've been at this school for years now. But as far as like transitioning from high school to college, right? Yes, they're doing dibbles and they're doing testing like based on state, but it's gonna be different, right? Like I know what his classroom looks like. I know how it transitions. What would you say from your experience the transition is from leaving Montessori to going into that style of education? Because college is testing. It's that traditional way, unless you're going to like Colorado College.
Right.
There's other very distinct small 4-year liberal arts, right? Which we don't have the one to afford, right? So he's going to state school.
Comma yet.
Right. So anyways, it's kind of, I'm just interested in
Sure.
what do you tell parents or like who are kind of looking at transition?
I get that question all the time.
Yeah.
How old is your child?
So he's in second grade now, so,
Okay.
so he's got a while, but I'm just thinking kind of ahead of time.
So typically, when you do a transition at like pre-K to kindergarten, which is where we get a lot of kids who leave for charter schools if they get accepted, or public school because now it's free, right? I always say it's gonna be a little bit of a transition, but they'll catch on quickly. They're still young. Let the teacher, the administration know they've come from Montessori so that they're aware that it's not a behavioral issue, that they don't wanna sit at the desk too long. After elementary, a good place to roll off if you're gonna go into a traditional is sixth grade.
We don't plan to do that, I mean, they have high school.
They have high school,
Yeah.
then you'll be fine.
Okay,
You'll be fine, because high school Montessori is very different from the rest of Montessori's. You're gonna start seeing less and less materials, less hands-on material, and more research papers, more quizzes, tests, things like that. They do start preparing them very early in the 9th grade for what the next step is going to be, which is college. And so what they'll do at the beginning is they'll like, do you plan on going on 2-year college, 4-year college? Well, I wanna go to Duke. All right, well, here are the requirements for Duke. If you're willing to do the work, I still can't promise anything, so give me a second choice.
I mean, I don't even know if I wanted to be in my household.
Or whatever it is, right? But that's kind of how we handle that. Like, depends on how hard you want to work, right? So don't think that it's just you're gonna wait till your 12th grade and then, be upset because you don't get into Duke. Well, if you didn't do the work for 3 years, you're not going anywhere. So they start very, very early in trying to mold that journey for them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
was trying to keep my questions, because I had something, I was like, God, I gotta.
I'll be your friend.
But,
I'm on the call.
this is really good stuff. So, just like CMS, do y'all allow them to do college at the same time?
Yes.
So they can get a 2-year degree while they're in Montessori high school?
Yep, we
Okay,
have- we
I just
have-
wanted to get that answer, okay.
We have 12 kids.
Okay. So, Paul, you had something for us, right? Yeah, anyone still wanna change? Happy dollars?
You would need this. You're gonna change your people.
These are quick happy dollars.
First off, this is for Barb more than for me. We just put the money in through my Rotary under my name. So that's for her. We're not around much in January, February, and March because of ski season.
Yep.
Barb, messed her knee up Monday at Sugar Mountain, but no broken bones or torn limbs. The orthopedic said you are old and have arthritis. But she's in a brace for 2 weeks, but she'll be back on the mountain in about another week.
Wow.
Well, I'm rated really later in life to get all the athletics in.
And we regret that we did not make the cut. But sliding down a mountain is more important.
All right, one couple of things. Number one is, I'm glad that you can have happiness in the family now with that Paul Harris fella. But you're passing it on to her, so therefore it'll be happiness in the family.
Yeah, okay.
I'll try to get it right. The second is, I'm proposing that when we say we're part of the Dilworth South End Rotary, we ought to say the Dilworth South End Rotary Queen City Impact.
Go for it.
Yeah.
And we
That's it. We can go more south
We
end.
need to have well, it's hard to remember a lot to write.
Yes.
But anyway,
That's what
that's my.
Even that,
You gonna bet all thing?
No, I'm putting that in the chart.
Any others?
Yes, just, real quickly, and I'll donate on that, but just real quickly, I had a finance committee meeting this morning, 2.5 hours with, our finance committee, and, my budget is passed, so. I'm happy about that.
So this is for your administration?
This is for 24-25.
Yes.
That budget for the Rotary District 7680 is passed.
Yes, ma'am.
Does anybody know about Joy? Did she have her surgery?
Joy was here last week. She
Yeah, she
was, yeah, she's fine.
She had, I think back in December, late December.
Yeah, and she's doing well.
And I asked about her this morning as well, so he told me good news. I was like, great.
She's not back at work, but she's doing well.
Awesome.
One last one.
Okay, he's gonna go ahead and do the drawing for the lucky winner. That won't be David.
Unless you phoned it in.
They have done that before.
Has it really?
Last 3 digits, 013.
013.
Oh my God. She stole it from us, Bob.
Outstanding.
Once again,
That person pays to be last.
So we are good. All hearts and minds are settled. Yeah, 5-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And will it be fun? Outstanding. Have an awesome weekend. You had a long week. Really? Are you gonna do it?
We will get it. And,